Hello dear all, this is Sadanand Kumar Malik. Welcomes you all in entire physics, and today we will study about the concept of wave packet and phase velocity and group velocity. Means here we will see what is the meaning of wave packet here and how what is the meaning of wave packet here and how it is formed. So as we have studied, in case of dual nature of light, according to de Broglie, when a particle is moving along a direction, suppose there is a particle of mass m is moving along x-axis or any other direction, then according to de Broglie, a single wave is associated with the particle, and the relation between the wave and the particle is given as lambda equals to h upon p, where lambda is the wavelength of this wave and p is the momentum of this particle. So here the particle and wave are associated with one another. But now let's see, is it possible to find a single wave with a moving particle? Okay, so here actually a scientist named Schrodinger gave a concept that if a single wave is associated with the particle, then it is impossible to explain all the properties of the particle. Means at any position, the momentum of the particle to say is impossible with the help of a single wave. That's why according to Schrodinger, there should be a lot of wave associated with the moving particle. Means when many number of waves will overlapping to one another, then due to their overlapping, due to their superposition, their resultant wave is formed, that is known as wave packet, and these wave packet is associated with the moving particle. Means according to Schrodinger, a moving particle is associated with a lot of wave, means many number of waves are there, and by the superposition of these waves we find a group of wave. That is, the group of wave is known as wave packet. Group of waves is equal to wave packet. So this is the general meaning of wave packet. So here we have to see how the wave packet is formed by the superposition of many number of waves. So let's try to draw this type of figure. So let us consider the two waves. Minimum two waves are needed for overlapping. So let us draw the two waves here. So suppose this is the first wave moving along x-axis. Suppose this is the mean position 0 and its displacement along y direction is given as y1. So here let's see the wave shape of this wave. Then suppose this is the first wave, and here it is known as the amplitude. This is known as amplitude, and suppose its amplitude is small a. Now because here there is a first wave is moving along this direction having the amplitude is small a, and suppose the frequency is nu1. Now let's try to draw the second one. So here let us consider the second wave. Actually they are very close to each other, but to explain the concept of wave packet we need to draw them sufficiently separated to one another. Suppose it is also moving along the same direction, means along x-axis. This is the mean position 0, and along the y direction its displacement is given as y2. And now suppose the second wave is such that its frequency is differ from the first one. Suppose nu2 is its frequency and nu2, and suppose nu2 is greater than nu1, and suppose the amplitude is same, means here having the same amplitude a. Now let's try to draw this figure. Then we have Suppose this is the second wave. Obviously if we see, then having the same amplitude means, suppose here its amplitude is also small a. Then let's see, when these two waves y1 and y2 will overlap to one another, then its resultant will be of which shape? So let us try to draw its resultant one. Then obviously the resultant wave will move in the same direction, means x direction. So let us try to draw the resultant wave will move in the same direction, that is along x-axis, and this is the mean position, and along y direction, suppose we consider the displacement is y. Then which type of wave will be formed due to the superposition of these two waves? Let's see. So here let us consider the phase of these waves. So let us try to draw the three lines. Let us try to draw here three lines. Drawn by the green color. Suppose this is the line 1. Similarly, let us draw the second line. Suppose this is the line 2nd. Now let us draw the third line. Only we have to study bit about these lines, not the lines between them. So here we have line 1, line 2 and line 3. Now let's see what will happen corresponding to these lines 1, 2 and 3. So corresponding to the line 1, we will find that the crest of first wave and the trough of second wave coincides with one another. That means here the superposition occurs in opposite phase. That's why here the amplitude is plus a and here the amplitude is minus a. So the resultant amplitude in the resultant one will be 0. Similarly, in the second one, in second line, let us see, because the crest of first and the crest of second coincides with the line second. That's why here amplitude is plus a and here the amplitude is again plus a. That's why the resultant amplitude will be 2a. So suppose here this is the resultant amplitude 2a. Now let's see the third one line. Then here the crest of 1 and the trough of second, means corresponding to line 3rd, the wave y1 and y2 overlaps in opposite phase. That's why the resultant amplitude will become 0 here. Similarly, we will find the other values. Now let's see which type of diagram we will find here. So from this point, let meet the line 2. Obviously, this type of figure we will find in the forward direction as well as in the backward direction. So here we can see this is a shape of a wave packet, means this is a wave packet here, and here this wave packet we can see which we have found by the superposition of two considered waves, and its amplitude is maximum here. This is the amplitude, and here we have the points corresponding to which, suppose these are the points corresponding to which the amplitude is 0. These points are known as node points, or simply we can say nodes. So this was the explanation, diagrammatical explanation of the concept of wave packet. Means here how the wave packet is formed we have explained. Now if we want to find it by the derivation, then we have to consider the wave equation of these two waves. So the wave equation may be written the wave equation y1 will be equal to, because its amplitude is small a and there is a sinusoidal change, means sine, and under cosec omega 1 t minus k1 x. So this is the equation of first wave. Now let us write the equation for second one. So y2 will be equals to having the same amplitude a, having the sinusoidal change means sine, and under cosec omega 2t minus k1 k2x, and this is the wave equation of second one. And here omega 1 and omega 2 are angular frequencies, k1 and k2 are wave numbers. So by this way we have explained the concept of wave packet diagrammatically. Now in the next we will see how we can find the equation for this resultant wave, means what should be y equals to, we have to find derivatively. Now let us see the formation of wave packets derivatively, means here with the help of derivation we have to find how the wave packet is formed. So let us consider two waves having the same amplitude, small a, and slightly different frequencies, Suppose the frequency of first one is nu1 and the frequency of second one is nu2, then obviously the angular frequencies will be omega 1 and omega 2. And obviously if their frequencies are different, then their wavelength will be also different. Lambda 1 suppose that of for first and lambda 2 for second. Therefore the wave numbers will be k1 and k2. So let us write the wave equation of the two waves. So for the first wave, the wave equation y1 will be equals to a sine omega 1t minus k1x, equation number 1 suppose. And for the second wave, y2 equals to a sine omega 2t minus k2x, equation number 2. Because both the waves are moving in the same direction, means along x-axis they are moving, then by the principle of superposition we can find their resultant. So by the principle of superposition, the resultant wave equation will be so here the resultant wave equation may be found with the help of principle of superposition. So according to the principle of superposition, the resultant wave equation is the algebraic sum of the wave equation of individual waves. So here the resultant wave equation y will be equals to y1 plus y2. Now let us substitute the value of y1 and y2. Then y1 is equals to a sine omega 1t minus k1x, and y2 means a sine omega 2t minus k2x. And here let's see, because a and a are common to both, so let us take this a common. So under a is taken common, under cosec we have sine omega 1t minus k1x plus sine omega 2t minus k2x. Now let us study about suppose this is equation number 3. Now let us study about a trigonometrical formula. So since sine c plus sine d is equal to 2 sine c plus d by 2 into cos c minus d by 2. So in equation 3, let us consider this is as c and this is as d. Now let's apply this trigonometrical formula. Then equation 3 gives y equals to 2a under cosec sine c means omega 1t minus k1x and plus d means omega 2t minus k2x upon 2 means whole upon 2 into cos c minus d. Cos c means omega 1t minus k1x minus d means omega 2t minus k2x upon 2. So we have applied the trigonometrical formula in equation 3 and we have found this equation. Now let us modify this equation slightly. Then y equals to 2a under cosec sine. Now let us write omega 1 and omega 2 simultaneously together and k1 and k2 together. So here on rearranging this equation we can write omega 1 plus omega 2 because t is common there. So this t is taken common. Now from this minus k1x minus k2x minus sign and the x is taken common. Inside this we have k1 plus k2. So we have k1 plus k2 and because whole upon 2 and this 2 may be written as omega 1 plus omega 2 upon 2 and k1 plus k2 upon 2. Similarly, let us rearrange the cos term. So here cos we have omega 1 minus omega 2 t is taken common minus is minus k1x minus k2x. So this minus sign is taken common and x is taken common. So minus sign and x are taken common. Now we have k1 minus k2. So here k1 minus k2 and this upon 2 may be written as omega 1 minus omega 2 upon 2 and k1 minus k2 upon 2. So by this way, suppose this is equation number 4. Now because it is a very lengthy equation, now let's see how we can give a compact form to this equation 4. So let us suppose something. Let here because omega 1 plus omega 2 upon 2 gives the average value of omega 1 and omega 2. So let omega 1 plus omega 2 upon 2 is supposed as omega, which is the average value of omega 1 and omega 2. Similarly, k1 plus k2 divided by 2 is considered as k1 plus k2 divided by 2 is supposed as k, means here k is the average value of k1 and k2. Similarly, in the cos term, omega 1 minus omega 2 is considered as del omega. Omega 1 minus omega 2 is equals to del omega, means here it gives the difference of omega 1 and omega 2. And similarly, k1 minus k2. Suppose this k1 minus k2 is supposed as del k, means here del k gives the difference between k1 and k2. So suppose this is the set of equation 5. Now let's use equation 5. Equation 4 will find a compact form. So equation 4 will become y is equals to 2a under cosec we have sine omega t minus kx into cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x. Now because here 2a sine and cos, all the three terms are in multiplication, so we can write them by changing their orders. So here we may write y equals to 2a cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x, and thereafter let us write the sine term, that is sine omega t minus kx, equation number 6 suppose, and this is the resultant wave equation. This is the resultant wave equation. Now let us analyze this equation 6. So here, because equation 6 is found by the superposition of two waves, then obviously we can compare this equation 6 with the form of wave equation, and that is the general form of wave equation is, we know y equals to a sine omega t minus kx. So obviously if we study about this general form, then except the sine term, means if we leave the sine term, then the remaining term gives the amplitude of the wave. Similarly, if we compare equation 6 with the general form, we will find leaving the sine term, means except sine term, the remaining term should give the amplitude. So here this bracketed term will be the resultant amplitude of the wave, or we can say the amplitude of the resultant wave. So here we found that the resultant amplitude of the wave is 2a cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x. So this is the resultant amplitude. Suppose equation number 7. Now we have found the resultant amplitude of the wave packet. Hello, now let's see the phase velocity and group velocity for a wave packet. Means here in this topic we will define the meaning of phase velocity and the meaning of group velocity, and their relation also we will calculate. So here actually, as we have seen in this in the previous topic, that two waves are used to form the wave packet. Suppose the wave y1 and the wave y2 are used to form the resultant wave y. So here let's see what is the meaning of phase velocity and group velocity. Then suppose the velocity of y1 is v1 and the velocity of y2 is v2. Then the average velocity of y1 and y2. Average velocity of wave y1 and y2. How we can find it? So it will be v1 plus v2 divided by 2, and this is the average velocity. This average velocity is known as phase velocity. So we can define the phase velocity as average velocity of each individual wave forming the wave packet. So this is the definition of phase velocity. Means we can define here phase velocity by words as the average velocity of each individual wave which are taking the participate to form the wave packet is known as phase velocity. Now let's see the definition of group velocity. suppose Vg, group velocity. So here the actual velocity by which, means after forming the wave packet, with the velocity by which this wave packet will propagate in the media, means the actual velocity of wave packet is known as group velocity. So here we can define the actual velocity of the wave packet is known as group velocity. Vg. Now let's see how we can determine the value of Vg and Vp. We know the average velocity is known as phase velocity. So first of all, let us try to find the relation for phase velocity. Vp. So we know that for a wave the velocity is given as v equals to nu lambda. So here nu lambda may be written as, let us multiply 2 pi in the numerator and 2 pi at the denominator, and here nu lambda. So here 2 pi nu will gives lambda. So here we can write is equals to 2 pi nu upon 2 pi by lambda, means this lambda is written at the denominator of 2 pi. So we know that 2 pi nu means omega and 2 pi by lambda means, so here we have v is equals to omega upon k. This is the average velocity. Why? Because omega is the average of omega 1 and omega 2 and k is the average of k1 and k2. So here omega upon k will give the average value, means average velocity. So here the phase velocity Vp will be equals to the average velocity, means omega upon k. So this is the relation for phase velocity, and suppose this is equation number 1. Similarly, let us try to find the group velocity now. So second group velocity. Vg. So to calculate the group velocity, let us consider the resultant amplitude. So here from equation 7 we have the resultant amplitude as 2a cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x, and obviously we know that the amplitude remains constant. Amplitude should remain constant. So here obviously this amplitude should be constant. So let us take it constant. Then we know resultant amplitude should be constant. That is, we can write 2a cos del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x is equal to constant. Now obviously 2a is already constant, so this left hand side to be constant only when cos theta, means cos of this should be constant, and obviously cos theta will be constant when theta will be constant here. So implies then we can write del omega upon 2t minus del k upon 2x should be constant. Now because here we have to calculate the group velocity, so actually velocity may be defined as v equals to dx upon dt, means the differentiation of x with respect to t will give the velocity. So here first of all we have to isolate this x from the other. So let us try to do this. So first of all let us transfer this quantity to the right hand side. Then we have in the left hand side minus del k upon 2 x is equal to, we have is equal to constant minus del omega upon 2t. Similarly, because we have to make this x as isolated, so here multiplying both sides of this equation with negative sign, as well as this k by 2 should be transferred to right hand side. Then we have this negative sign will become positive, and here a negative sign will be multiplied, and this negative will become positive. So here finally we have x is equal to minus constant upon del k upon 2, so this 2 may be written here, plus del omega upon 2 into t minus del k upon 2 into del k upon 2. Now this 2 and this 2 will be cancelled out, and finally we have x equals to minus 2 constant upon del k plus del omega upon del k into t. Suppose this is equation number 2. Find the differentiation of x. So first of all, let's see in the right hand side which quantities are variable and which are constant. So here obviously 2 is constant and it is written as constant. Now we have to check only del k and del omega, either they are constants or variable. So del k means k1 minus k2, and k1 is equals to 2 pi by lambda 1 minus k2 means 2 pi by lambda 2 is equals to, let's see, 2 pi is taken common, 1 upon lambda 1 minus 1 upon lambda 2. Obviously lambda 1 means the wavelength of first wave and lambda 2 means the wavelength of second wave, and whatever their value, but it is confirmed that they are constant. So obviously the difference of two constants is again a constant, and 2 pi is already constant. So finally del k will become constant. Similarly about del omega, we know del omega equals to omega 1 minus omega 2, and the value of omega means 2 pi nu 1, and the value of omega 2 means 2 pi nu 2, and obviously 2 pi is taken common, nu 1 minus nu 2. So here whatever the value of nu 1 and nu 2, but we know that they are constant, nu 1 and nu 2 are constant, and obviously their difference is also constant. So we can write here is equals to 2 pi into constant. So here we have proved that del omega and del k both are constants. So in the above equation 2, the first term is totally constant, and in the second term del omega upon del k is constant. Now let us find their differentiation. So dx upon dt is equal to, because first term is totally constant, so its differentiation will become 0, and in second term it will become del omega upon del k. So 0 plus del omega upon del k, and finally we can write dx upon dt means velocity, and here it will be group velocity, is equals to del omega upon del k. Now if omega 1 and omega 2 means omega 1 is nearly equals to omega 2 and k2 is nearly equals to k2, means there is a slight difference between omega 1 and omega 2 and k1 and k2, then this del sign may be replaced by small d. So here Vg is equals to d omega upon dk in case of very small differences in omega 1 and omega 2 as well as k1 and k2. Third, so from equation first we have found the phase velocity, that is omega upon k, and from equation third we have found the group velocity, that is d omega upon dk. Now let us try to find the relation between Vg and Vp. So here let's see the relation between Vg and Vp. Then how, let's see how we can establish the relation between them. So we have Vg equals to d omega upon dk, and we have Vp equals to omega upon k. So if we study about the group velocity, then we will find here omega is going to be differentiated with respect to k. Let's find the value of omega from the term of phase velocity. So here omega will be equals to Vp into k. Now let's substitute this value of omega in the terms of group velocity. So here we have group velocity Vg is equal to d upon dk into Vp k. Now we have two terms Vp and k, means first term and second term. So let's differentiate them. Then its value will be first term means Vp, differentiation of second term means 1, plus second term means k, differentiation of first means dVp upon dk. Now because here Vp is equals to omega upon k, and this k may be written as 2 pi by lambda. So finally we can say Vp depends on lambda and also k depends on lambda. So here this differentiation term may be written as is equals to Vp plus k into dVp upon d lambda and d lambda upon dk. So is equal to, we can write Vg is equals to Vp plus k into dVp upon d lambda as it is, into here we can write 1 upon dk upon d lambda. So now let us find its value. Then we have Vg is equals to Vp plus k into dVp upon d lambda as it is, into here we can write 1 upon d lambda, and the value of k is 2 pi by lambda. Now let us solve again. Then we have is equals to Vp plus k into dVp upon d lambda as it is, into here 1 upon 2 pi is constant, so take it common, and the differentiation of 1 upon lambda is minus 1 upon lambda square. So here this negative sign multiplied with the positive one, so this positive sign will become negative. So here Vp minus, suppose substitute the value of k, that is 2 pi by lambda, into dVp upon d lambda as it is, into here we have lambda square is at the denominator of denominator, so it will go to the numerator, means lambda square upon 2 pi. Now this 2 pi and this 2 pi will be cancelled out, and the square of lambda will cancel out with this lambda. So here we have Vg is equals to Vp minus this lambda into dVp upon d lambda. So this is the required relation between, suppose this is equation 4. This is the required relation between phase velocity and group velocity. This is the required relation.